y'all. Welcome to my channel. That sounds so crazy. I cannot believe that I am going to be doing this kind of content. I cannot complain. So yeah, my purpose for this channel is to lead my generation to Christ while growing and learning together in faith and in truth. Because this is my first video, I know it's only right to do a Q&A. And y'all asked some really good questions. And the first question is, what made you want to become a content creator, God? Growing up, I always knew that the Lord would use me, but not in this way. Yes, my mom is a minister, and sometimes people think, outside that, the child's mom was a minister or the dad was the pastor. The child will follow their footsteps. For me, that wasn't the case. See, it was one day the Lord kind of revealed to me that sin, that addiction, yes, that I'm going to use that. And in a moment, I was like, what? Like, you're telling me that I'm going to have to expose me? And I'm going to have to put this out there? What is people going to say about me? How are they going to feel about me? And he revealed to me that my struggles, he's going to use that to basically set his people free. And in that moment, of course, I was not with it. I'm very private. I'm not telling nobody nothing personal about me. But I knew that I couldn't say no to God. And like I said, I knew that the Lord was going to use me eventually, but I just didn't know how. You're going to have to place the desire in me to teach and spread the gospel to your people. I know this is something that you want me to do. I'm not comfortable with it, but I just pray that you would place that desire that desire in me. I pray that help me to hate what you hate and like what you like. But now that I'm older and I've matured, I've realized that what we go through, our testimony is somebody else's breakthrough. This assignment is much bigger than me. What's funny is, coming up in high school, I had friends that was like in the streets bad. And I would find myself always leading them to Christ. So in that moment, I was like, God, I'm not comfortable with this. But girl, you already doing it. From 2020, because that incident happened in 2020. It is 2025. I've had plenty of dreams where the Lord came to me. Well, he didn't come to me. But I've had dreams where, the Lord exposed to me that I would be speaking to this.
Cut the show. I'm done.
I would be speaking to these people. I would be teaching. I would be spreading the gospel. And I just been writing it down, and I just been like, okay, God. And I love it now. That's all I do today. Question 2 says, where did you grow up and do you still live there? I grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana. Do I still live there? No. How old are you? I am 21 years old. How do you handle work, school, social life, and Bible study? For me, I let my off days be my off days and my work days be my work days. Every single day, every morning, and before I went to bed, I was spending time with the Lord. So when I was working, they had me working from 11 to 8, and I would work from probably 4 to 5 times out of the week. So if I'm working from 11 to 8 at night, who finna be rushing to get work done at 11:59? So I made sure on my off days I was studying and doing work. Now, in between, let's say my 15-minute break and my lunch break, I would always study and maybe do some work that I didn't complete. As far as social life, most of my friends were working with me, so we kind of worked around each other's schedule. But I wanted to say for my other friends, they knew my schedule, so they knew to tell me ahead of time if they had anything planned. Bible study should be an everyday thing. Not just, on Wednesday night when your church have Bible study. That should be an everyday thing. Next question says, are you dating? I'm not gonna lie, me and God like this right now, so he's working on me right now. And I know that sounds very familiar. Almost every woman says that, but literally, I don't want to get in a relationship and go through cycles. I don't want to get in a relationship and I'm hurting that person. So I mean, I'm not totally against it if the Lord send them. But as of right now, she's working on herself and she's minding her business. Woo! This one is a little deep. Okay. It says, what is the hardest challenges you faced growing up? Y'all, I had to change spaces because it was starting to get dark on that side. So I had to move, but you can work with me though. One of the hardest challenges I faced growing up had to be watching my mom transition into the woman God called her to be, while also being forced to transition at an early age while keeping my faith in God. I'm not bashing my mom in any way because she was only doing what she felt was best. And honestly, it was nothing wrong with teaching your child about God. Now, for someone like me who is a preacher's kid, if you're a preacher's kid, if you know, you know. But for us, you know, growing up, there were certain things we couldn't watch, we couldn't play, we couldn't do. And at an early age, at the ages of 10 and 11, I did not understand that. And you know, when you start your walk with the Lord starts stripping things from you. Okay, let's not participate in this. Let's get rid of this. Let's move out of these spaces. So as my mom was transitioning, it was times where I had to move to a different state and I had to leave my family behind. And I had to do, you know, certain things that just really didn't make sense to me. So while going through all of those changes, as a kid, of course, I have questions. And around that time, I felt like I didn't really have a say-so. I was definitely like, God, I'm not really feeling this. Like, I want to live my life. And I felt like at that age and at that time, I wasn't really living. I was in fear, you know, just with what my mom was dealing with, I was also dealing with that warfare as well. So I would just question God, like, God, you got me moving everywhere with her, and I just want to have fun. I started to get depressed, and it was just a lot. And I was just wondering why, you know, the Lord didn't allow me to move. And, you know, I was going through all of that, and I'm like, you see, I'm depressed. But, you know, it wasn't until I got older until I saw why, you know, I went through all of that. And the Lord was just like, I was training you. I was training you. Look at what I'm doing today, spreading the word of God. And then I was just questioning God, like, I'm depressed. I'm not happy with doing this. You know what I'm saying? And you got me here praying for hours with her, and I don't want to do this. But look at what I'm doing today. And I realized that the assignment is bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I may not have liked it, and I may not have agreed to it. But this assignment is bigger than me. There are people out here who do not know who God is. You know what I'm saying? And there are people who are called to, of course, God's voice, but, you know, my channel, maybe my testimony could help somebody. But it wasn't until I graduated and until I started to seek God for myself, that's when I got my answer. What is your favorite TV show or movie? I give you both. I love a good 90s classic. I love a good romance movie from the 90s. And as far as the TV show, all I watch is reruns of Martin, A Different World, the Bernie Mac show. I like stuff like this. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Hopefully graduated. I'm so sick of school, Lord. I'm so sick of school. I see myself prospering in what the Lord called me to do. I see myself doing a lot for the kingdom. I see myself physically and spiritually successful. What is your favorite food? My favorite, look, a big plate full of soul food. Candy yams. It don't even matter what meat it is. It could be lamb chops. It can be beef tips and rice. As long as some baked macaroni and cheese is on there with some collard greens, cornbread.
Collard greens and cornbread, some candied yams, a little potato salad, fried chicken, peach cobbler, 2 slices of ham.
Yum, yum.
It don't even matter. Just fill the plate up, you know? Okay, now this is a good question. How are you in life today overall? Thank you for asking. Much better. I am much better. Earlier this year, the Lord kind of hit me with something and I didn't really know how to take that. Earlier this year, the Lord revealed to me that I know I revealed to you that you will be doing all of these different things, and I know you thought you were healed, but you're not.
What?
Because I could remember crying for days, hours, and talking to this person, this woman, that man, this preacher, this prophet. You mean to tell me I ain't healed yet? And he was just like, no. You know, you would bring a problem to me, but you would always, slip it in your back pocket. Like, you would come to the altar, but put the problem back in your pocket and you would still carry it. And I'd just be like, well, I can't argue with you on that one. And he was like, daughter, it's time for you to get out of my way. It's time for you to sit now that I have you out of this job, because earlier this year he made me quit. So he was like, now that I have you out of your workspace and you're able to hear my voice now without any distraction, I'm gonna need for you to sit down and allow me to heal you properly. Because of past years, I did a lot of numbing. I was numbing myself through music, in relationships that I didn't even want to be in, just numbing myself. I didn't smoke or drink, so I just was distracting myself. And he was like, yeah, I called you to a lot.
I know you're not used to this.
Yeah, you're gonna accomplish these things, but you can't go in this next season with all of that weight. So when he expressed that to me, it was a lot, because it's like, okay, this is something that I have to deal with. I'm still in school. I got all these different things going on, and it's like, how am I gonna get through this? And when I tell y'all, I didn't know how I was gonna make it out, but the Lord ordered my steps. He sent people along the way to help me. I didn't know what was going on with me. And that was another thing. I spent too much time trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Why this and that. The Lord was like, he had to remind me that there are things that happened to you in your past that you don't even remember. So why don't you sit down and stop trying to figure everything out and allow me to heal you and expose the root why you act like this and why is this a trigger to you? Allow me to expose it. I didn't know what to do, but the Lord ordered my steps. He sent people along the way to expose things to me. He sent me dreams, just revealing the root to me. And one of my problems was surrendering to God. So I finally surrendered because I got tired of trying to figure things out while going to work, dealing with this, dealing with that. And it was a lot of weight and pressure on me. I was having anxiety attacks. It was so bad. And my biggest thing was, releasing things. And it was just like, how can I release if I can't cry? I had become so numb that I didn't even know I was hurting. But the Lord, he got me through. And I'm much better today. No more anxiety attacks. No more sleepless nights. I was not sleeping for months. I would have 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Just be running off of coffee, energy drinks, angry, bitter. That is not me today. And I'm so happy that the Lord delivered me and he revealed those things to me. And if that's you, allow God to reveal to you the roots of your problems. Because a lot of times we can call out, oh, that's just anxiety. Oh, that's just this. But what is the root? You have to call out that root. Pray against that root so you can get your full deliverance the right way, the proper way. Not by smoking, not by drinking, not by taking this pill, not by having sex. You have to heal properly, because if you don't, like me, because I was dealing with that stuff in 2020. It's 2025. What you mean I ain't healed? Alrighty, this is the last question for part 1, because I am doing 2 parts, because there are a lot of questions and there are very good questions too. So this question says, what has been the hardest part or the hardest sacrifice on your walk with God? That is a really good question. I can say my hardest sacrifice was giving up my own desires. When I graduated, I had my life planned out to the T. I was going to Southern University to become a dancing doll, because I danced back in the day. I was going to school for nursing. I was gonna do this, I was gonna do that. And the Lord was like, who? I called you to teach my word. After I graduated, I wanna say, I graduated in 22. So March of 2023, I tried out for Texas Southern University Motion of the Ocean dance team. And I had to do it virtually because I couldn't get out there. And when it comes to dance, I don't care how tired I am. I've ran 15 laps in 102 weather and still went in that dance room and pushed and was clean with my moves and everything else. So this was the crazy part. I can remember trying out, right? This is the actual day where I'm supposed to submit the video. I'm doing the video. And for some reason, it was just like all of my strength, all of my desire for dance, everything just left my body. Mind you, I prayed to God and said, you know what, God? If this is of you, if this is your will for me, let it be. If not, just take the desire, take everything away from me. I had no desire. I did not care about it at all. I did not care about it. I didn't want to do nothing. Like it was like my energy was, it's like somebody robbed me of my energy. And it was just the weirdest feeling I've ever felt. And I was trying to do the choreo. Nothing was working out right. Sorry to the person that was editing my video. Love you for supporting me and helping me with that. But child, I was like, yeah, I know this from you. Because like I said, I always knew that the Lord was going to use me. I just didn't know how and when. So he was like, I mean, you can't spread my word and be out here dancing like that. Dancing to this kind of music. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense, but I did not like that. I idolized, and what the Lord showed me later on is that I idolized dance. I put dance before God. When I was going through it, I was going to go dance. I wasn't going to go tell the Lord my issues. I was going to go dance. And the crazy thing is, I knew the Lord was going to strip that away from me at some point. But that day I had to face it, and I was really hurt. I was really hurt that I had to give up dance. And you know what? I had the opportunity to go to a 4-year college. Right now, I am in a community college because I'm ready to get up out that thing. You know. This is why it is important for you to know who you are. Because this is what I told the Lord. I said, you know what? I'm not even mad. At the time, I was going to a 2-year college. But I said, if I make this dance team, I'm going to a 4-year college. This is why it is important to know who you are. I told myself, I ain't going to no 4-year college. If I go to a 4-year college, I'm going to be doing everything but what the Lord told me to do. And I know, and I knew when I was younger that whatever the Lord was going to have me doing was going to be major. It was going to be very important. And I can't mislead people. You know what I'm saying? I can't be a bad example because everybody's blood will be on my hand at the end of the day. And I ain't doing none of that.